Well, they just told Letty again for another year that the Champions League is just a story parents tell their kids. And then they do like in Men in Black, they flash that little light at the start of every season and they forget, right? And they still believe they can win it. They really think they can win it. There's a tweet I'll show you now. That's just incredible. This Iñaco Diaz Guerra guy, who's a big Letty fan, started writing there. Like, and as you read what he writes, it's like he's angrily pounding on the keyboard, right? Mad, right? Like saying, we hate this competition. Of course, of course, of course. How could you not hate it? Seriously. Anyway, everyone was supporting Letty. Everyone was with Letty, of course. This was Carlos Martinez, spiky hair, during Arsenal's goal, the only one of the match. Arsenal played the way they played. What an ugly tie. Oh my God, what a horrible thing compared to what we're going to see tomorrow, right? I mean, in this tie, how many goals have they scored? 3, right? And in the other one, in just the first match, 9. What could be waiting for us tomorrow could be tremendous. I think Arsenal will get knocked out by either Paris Saint-Germain or Bayern, or maybe not. Anyway, they had rolled out the red carpet for Barca, man, on the easiest side of the bracket, but not just this year, of course, for the last, 15 or 20 years. It's crazy. And still, man, Barca ends up losing to Atleti because Atleti, when it comes to that, Atleti really nails it in the Champions League, huh? Knocking out Barca is their specialty. I mean, Atleti's Champions League is all about knocking out Barca. And that's the only time of the year when we crack a little smile, right? And we say to them, good job, guys. But then it's Atleti. Atleti is just so Atleti, man. And like I said, the commentators, everyone's all in on it, right? Because, of course, for a journalist, supporting Madrid puts them in a bad spot. But if it's Atleti, it's a Spanish team, it's a Spanish team. Well, spiky hair, he's not satisfied with getting down when his little Barca gets scored on, or getting really hyped when Barca scores in Europe, but it's the opposite with Madrid. That's how he called Arsenal's goal.
The ball goes to Trossard. Trossard enters the box, searching for a shot, then goes down. Oh! Jan Oblak cleared it. He shoots. It's saved.
Well, the guy feeling sorry for himself. Of course, I said, hey, anyway. All right, let's review. I have to make this really small. Let's go over how he called it in a quarterfinal. You'll remember. Just a moment. You remember, right? Hey, what a match. That 3-3 draw the year we won the last Champions League, Bernardo Silva's goal. And now I'll show you Rafinha's play. I know you're watching it down there. That's how spiky hair called Bernardo Silva's goal. And you might think, did he commentate it like he does for Atletico? Or like when a Spanish team gets scored on in the Champions League? Just goal, goal. Well, wow, man. Well, I don't know. Well, goal. Well, yes. No. Look. Bernardo, goal. I can't believe it. And in the end, he says, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Because, of course, let's pretend a little, right? Well, that was the atmosphere. Anyway, hey, I'm going to grab some things because Twitter X is really fun. Because look, many times it's basically like barroom talk and all that, but then it's just wonderful. It's great how things immediately start happening when something like this occurs. Fabrizio Romano tweeting this about Barca, and you say, come on, seriously. I mean, well, we all know who this guy works for, right? Of course, but at least try to hide it a bit, right? He mentioned the Rafinha thing, which is honestly pretty funny. He says that next time you guys are out. For me, this makes Barca look worse than Atleti. Just saying. What Rafinha did after being knocked out by Atleti. The guy can't play. Hey, if Rafinha had played, maybe things would have turned out differently that day. But the fact is Atleti went through. Atleti advanced in the round, and today they're out. Oh, by the way, that's really good too. This Atleti fan today, at least he'll be happy. His second team won. Do you remember? Last year, a little over a year ago, when Arsenal knocked us out, well, the Atleti fans started saying we're Arsenal fans, right? Anyway, what do you want me to say? Me with Barca in last year's semifinals against Inter, we had the best time here. We did a live stream, a video that, well, was one of the most watched videos of the year because, well, we find it really funny when the team that pays off refs get knocked out in Europe like they've been doing for so long. But with Atleti, I mean, sometimes I want to hate them a little, really hate them. But I mean, a little bit, yeah, honestly. But I just can't completely. I mean, I just don't really care. And so I turned it into that. It just makes me laugh, simply. Honestly, I even feel a bit sorry for them because the Champions League is just a myth. Seriously, get over it and move on. Now we'll talk about joy. Now we'll talk about Allegri because people are feeling the exact opposite, right? With Allegri, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but how can I put this? Even though Allegri isn't a bad coach, there's about as exciting as a shoe. Check out this tweet from Iñaco Diaz-Guerra, which goes like this, okay? Like I said, okay? I mean, he wrote it like he was banging on the keyboard, right? The Champions League hates Atleti, but they'll win it. They'll win it. We don't know when, if it'll be this century or the next, or maybe we're talking about millennia. He says when they least expect it, because that's how we are, right? He just needed to say that, right? They'll win that damn cup, just wait, and then they'll throw it into the river. We'll rest that day, and son, choose your words carefully. As I said in a tweet, no, not in the first sentence. The Champions League doesn't hate Atleti, but saying they'll eventually win it isn't accurate either. And then the thing about the river and resting after something gets thrown into the river, well, I mean, it's not the best. You know why? Not the most appropriate, right? And well, that's how the Atleti fans were, like that, just like that. Poor guys, poor guys. Well, the thing is, let me see if there's anything else here worth mentioning. Let's get to the main point about Atleti, since we're going to discuss it. Honestly, I said today it was impossible, but I still expected it. Let's talk about Allegri. How do you feel about Allegri? We're not going to do the wordplay, not at all. That wordplay is just too predictable. But watch out. They've also talked about Nagelsmann, but Nagelsmann is with Germany. And Maresca. Careful, Maresca shows up there. Hey, Club World Cup winner with Chelsea, who left under messy circumstances. And he's a guy who's somewhat in demand. He's somewhat in demand. The thing is, today this came out in OK Diario. It says that Allegri is taking the lead to manage Madrid next season with Maresca and Nagelsmann in the picture. Does Allegri excite you? Does it make you happy? Honestly, I think two things. I think two things that are opposite to each other. I think he's a good coach, better than the reputation he may have in Spain, you know? Madrid had wanted him before, I believe, during Lopetegui's year, but Allegri couldn't make it happen. Could that be it? I think so. Even Nagelsmann was considered that year. In the end, Lopetegui and all the chaos that followed, well, but at the same time, I think the excitement he generates is about the same as a shoe. I mean, it's like Allegri, and I don't know. Hey, maybe it turns out well, but man, today's Sergio Valentin, but for sure said, wait, I have it here. What? He said, where do I have it? Well, if not, I'll just say it myself. Here it is. He says he'll keep telling you more. He said yesterday that the meeting between Florentino and Mourinho would be today, and that it was by video conference. Mourinho didn't go to Lisbon to see Solskjaer there. And he says they met today. It was by video conference. It lasted an hour. They talked for a long time. And Jorge Mendes was also present, but without speaking. He continues, we'll see if he's been chosen. Florentino is going to great lengths to stop it. I mean, if Florentino calls, if he wants to, it's because he really wants to, and they've been reaching out to him. Let's see, this, I think, this clearly clashes with the other information that the newspaper said here, that Allegri is actually first on that list. They didn't even mention Mourinho anymore because they also say they have Nagelsmann and the other one and Maresca in the background. But anyway, this is something that's going to be resolved, guys, between May 20th and 30th. I think we'll already know. So let's rule out World Cup coaches. That's what I think. Madrid is not going to wait until the World Cup is over. Or maybe it could be announced that there isn't a Rubiales yet in the federations where Madrid could poach a coach, so they could fire that coach before the World Cup starts. But I see it as very difficult. For example, saying, come on, it's Scaloni or Pochettino. Fine, pick next year's squad and tell me who to sign while the other is busy with the World Cup. No. I think they are coaches who are currently with teams or who are out of work or without a team. I think that's where things are going to go. Well, anyway, congratulations to Atletico de Madrid. Hey, they've reached the Champions League semifinals. They've gotten a taste of it again. They asked Simeone, do you want to try again? Simeone said in an interview, in a flash interview, no, not right now, not at this moment. Oh, people got nervous there. Atletico fans said because Cholo might leave us. Cholo might leave us because, of course, Cholo's good year is coming. It's coming. Just wait, just wait. And but I think that's the typical thing Cholo says, that he later says um, that, well, you have to renew the excitement and that's it and that's all. Well, nothing. Well, great season for Atleti, huh? Like someone said there too. They said the best season for Atleti isn't better than the worst for Madrid. Another season without trophies, over 20 points back in the league, but they did reach the Champions League semifinals and were left frustrated after coming so close. Take two, I'm telling you, yes. They qualified, but then Bayern and Paris Saint-Germain destroyed them. And in the cup final, well, look, in the cup final, they're losing on penalties to Real Sociedad, but of course, I had forgotten about that. It's just that Atleti knocks out Barca in the Champions League and also in the cup, man, also in the cup, which is amazing. Atleti has achieved what for them is the big title. Hey, and in this, we embrace each other like good neighbors, right? We are with them. They stopped Barca from pulling it off. In a final against Bayern or Paris Saint-Germain, it would have been very hard, but reaching the final, absolutely. But it has prevented Barca from achieving a clean sweep, huh? Watch out for that. Careful, this Barca, huh? Careful. Because even though in Europe, Barca always gets taught a lesson, they had rivals, they could have beaten all of them, huh? Then the final would have been a different story. But come on, they would have made it there. And hey, Atleti stopped them, and then we'll go and lose for you. Don't worry. That's our fate. Hope all goes well for you. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share if you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye.